My name is Leo Myron. I'm an 18-year-old guy on self-improvement from Stockholm, Sweden. I started fapping and watching porn when I was about 10 years old, in 4th, 5th grade, something like that. And I did it for over 5 years without even knowing the consequences of it. And it was only in late 2022, when I was 15 years old, I just turned 15, in November 2022, that I discovered the concept of NoFap. And I struggled with it for a long time. I wanted to be consistent, but I used to relapse about multiple times a week for about 2.5 years straight. It was super fucking annoying. I was so ashamed of it. But this year, in May, April, something like that, I made a huge change, which was that I told my best friends about the struggles that I'd had. And since then, I actually haven't even fapped once. And so that, in combination with the YouTube series that I've done and the documentation that I've conducted, has created immense accountability for me, and it's been really effective. And so my mission now is to bring this kind of transformation to you, to the people watching this, to the people that are in the trenches of this issue, that are battling the fucking urges on a daily basis. I want to help you guys. And so in this video, I want to talk to you about a quite obscure topic, which I haven't heard a lot of people talk about at all, especially not in the context of NoFap. And so most people these days, they listen to bullshit fucking music. If you're one of these people, you might be listening to rap music, to normal white people like house music, where they're talking about how weak they are, or that they're fucking beta cucks to some alpha male or some shit like that. Or in the rap music, when the guy is singing about, yeah, I'm so great. You, the listener, is a fucking little bitch. I make all the money. I fuck all the bitches. I'm the G. And he's hyping himself up. And you're tuning into that shit. Or you're listening to some weird fucking Harry Styles, Ed Sheeran, some bullshit white music, fucking Western propaganda, weak sad boy music. When the guy is talking about that he's on fucking antidepressants or some other medication and bullshit. He is in love with this girl. He's obsessed with this one girl. He's got mad one-itis and shit. You can probably imagine that as well, like a fucking Charlie Puth, all these motherfuckers. When you listen to this kind of stuff, it really affects you. And I want to prove that to you. And so, for example, do you listen to music when you go to the gym? Hopefully, if you watch this kind of content that is sort of educational and inspirational, you are not a fucking subhuman, you know? You hopefully go to the gym. Do you listen to music when you go to the gym? If so, why? If not, then you might even be aware of the concept that I'm talking about here. But if you do, why do you do that? Most people do it because it makes them hype. It sort of feels like it gives you energy, right? You listen to some rap music, it hypes you up. You get into the right aggressive fucking anxiety mood to be able to sort of activate your fucking sympathetic nervous system, or whatever it's called, your fight or flight state in your mind. And then you can hit some nice sets, you can smash some fucking PRs, right? Well, the thing is, when you are listening to that shit, you are literally conditioning your brain to think or to believe whatever the rapper or the singer is talking about. And so if you're listening to fucking Drake or some bullshit, some local rapper in your country, like for example, I'm from Sweden, right? And there's a huge rap fucking culture in our country. Like there are like a bunch of sort of, I wouldn't call them famous, but in Sweden they kind of are, like fucking rappers, a bunch of like a dozen rappers that are they're all either second or first generation immigrants, and they're talking about gang violence and fucking killing people and fucking all the bitches and selling drugs and taking drugs and making money and all this degenerate shit. And so when you listen to that shit, you are literally conditioning your mind to get into that sort of wavelength. You are like, when you're tuning into someone else, like a rapper hyping himself up, you are literally conditioning your brain to think that you are a beta male and that he's the alpha male. Because it kind of feels like you and that rapper is like one. You sort of fantasize about what he's talking about. I used to do that shit. When I was in the gym, I used to listen to some rap music from Sweden, some Swedish rapper. And he'd be talking about like, yeah, I'm fucking this bitch and shit. I'm making her scream. I bring her to the hotel suite and I'm making her scream, like all that shit. And I used to visualize that for myself and fantasize about it, which is fucking pathetic and gay as fuck. It's so cockish, man. It's so haram, right? It's kind of like pornography. This is where the link to NoFap comes in. or there are two main ones. But in terms of NoFap and fapping and porn and stuff, this is literally the same thing as porn. It's built upon the same principle. You are conditioning your mind to be the observer rather than the partaker. Can you imagine that, right? You probably can. Like when you watch porn, you watch someone else do the thing that you want to do, that you haven't been able to do, or you haven't had the balls to sort of risk rejection in real life and attract females, so that you just go on the internet and see other guys do it, do the thing that you ultimately want to do instead. You choose the cheap, the easy route. And so with rapping, it's the same thing. You get the feelings of like conquest and fucking of coolness, whatever you want to call it, like that you're cool and that you're high status and shit. And you use that kind of feeling to propel you in your workouts, which might be effective. I'm not sure because I haven't listened to that shit in fucking ages, but I guess it was when I did. But even now, my workouts are fucking fire with no music. And I think that's simply you have to get accustomed to it. Like if you listen to music every single workout, then you've already built up the association in your mind between a sick workout and music. And so if you remove that, it might decrease the quality temporarily, but then your baseline will slowly, or not even slowly, but after a little while, it will restabilize. And so also when you listen to, for example, Juice WRLD or these kind of guys that have this sort of sad boy energy, it's really depressing, and it's like, it doesn't put you in the fucking like ambitious high frequency mode that you need to conquer and achieve things, which like these two things are kind of the opposite of each other. It's like one is when one guy's talking about I'm the best, I'm the fucking G, and the other guy's talking about I'm the worst, I'm a loser, I'm the beta, right? But both of those sort of energies that you're absorbing are not going to be beneficial for you. It either makes you a cuck, or it makes you just feel like a fucking sad boy, right? And so I want you to stop listening to that shit. Because also, what's really interesting, especially with rap music, because they talk a lot about sex in rap music, is that you will be way more likely to relapse, if you want to call it that. You will be way more likely to fap when you are constantly plugging your ears into a device, or like some headphones, that supply you with those kinds of lustful thoughts. You can imagine that, right? You can imagine some rapper talking about that he's fucking all the bitches, right? And he's hyping himself up in your fucking ears. And so you kind of fantasize about that shit, right? Now, you have those thoughts in your mind. Like, it's kind of like you're providing your brain with ammunition for the thoughts that it's gonna create or generate in the future. And so do you want those thoughts to be these kinds of lustful, degenerate, like cuckish thoughts? Or do you want them to be empowering, That's this decision for you to make. And to be honest with you, I haven't really found a music genre that is not instrumental, meaning that there's no vocals, there's no singing, that is not like this. Like pretty much all music, whether there's some guy or some girl singing, it's all fucking gay. Maybe some like 80s or 90s music, some heavy metal is fine, but even that, I don't listen to it that much. Maybe some country and stuff, that's usually fine. Like Take Me Home, Country Roads, or Sweet Home Alabama, that's usually fine. But there's also another problem, which is not discussed a lot, which is that the sort of wavelength, like the actual frequency of the music, the sound, is of 440 hertz, which I'm not trying to delve into the science of that, but basically it's kind of like a harmful frequency for the ears or the brain, or like the spiritual center of the body, like scientifically and shit. And the best, sort of most natural frequency is 432 hertz. And all the music in the world used to be in this sort of 432 hertz frequency. But then a few decades ago, they changed that shit. And so it just happens to be they just happen to change the frequency to a frequency which is harmful for the human body. Because the Earth's natural vibrations, like the electromagnetic field and that shit, it emits like audio and sounds of this frequency, 432 hertz. And so you can actually just search on, for example, on YouTube or Spotify for 432 hertz frequency, or like healing frequency, healing music. And you'll find these sorts of like humming noises, like sounds that are really calming, really serene. And it's not hype. You don't get this like dopamine surge, which you don't want either way, because it just fucks up your dopamine receptors and you're like more likely to fap that way, because you don't have any motivation to do any real work. And so if you can do that right now, just have a look at, like, have a listen to that kind of music, you will feel the difference pretty much immediately. At least I did. And so that's your action step for this video. To do that, to search for 432HZ frequency on YouTube or Spotify and just have a listen, and you'll see what I mean. And then compare it to, for example, rap music. Like the spiritual difference is immense, especially when you go on a bit of a detox or like a music diet, whatever you want to call it. You stop listening to like rap or normal house music or fucking white people music, right? And then you come back to it, then you will realize the difference. It's the same thing with like fucking porn or whatever. Like when you abstain from a bad habit for a little while and then you come back, you'll realize how fucked up it was in the first place. And so yeah, man, like this is like, nobody speaks about this shit, you know? And so I wanna bring it up. But also, I wanna make sure that you have a community around you that can actually hold you accountable on this journey of NoFap. And so I've made a free school community. It's like a Discord server on steroids, way more like high quality and stuff. I've made a free 2.5 hour protocol, like course on everything, like every, like step by step, everything I did, like from when I started fapping, or from when I discovered NoFap to then when I stopped fapping, like the difference between those periods. I made a full blueprint, protocol, course, whatever you want to call it. It's in like the community that I made, in the link in the description. You can check that out. I really do believe it's an awesome place, and I hope to see you inside, bro. Peace.